Hello, everyone. Thank you once again for tuning into the Annual Nero podcast. As always, I'm your host, John, and today with a good friend, Jahmad. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for the conversation ahead.
Hey, me too, man. So let's jump right into it. So first, we'll explain a little bit about yourself and how exactly you and I met or how we know each other. Do you remember the first time we met and what we talked about?
Yeah, all right. So to start the journey of our conversation, we definitely met at Aldi. We
Yeah.
were both stocking up groceries and whatnot and doing all the other miscellaneous tasks of that. But in our
hmm
journeys at Aldi, me and John, we found common ground in like business, investing, and I'm sure we talked about the world. I don't know what else we talked about, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We had similarities in our vision for the world. We both had views on how we would like to improve the world, so that was pretty cool.
And I definitely remember having a lot of deep conversations with you and being like, "Damn, we got to work right now. That sucks." Oh, let me do some things, and then I'll get back to talking with Jamad. You honestly made things very tolerable there for as long as I was there. So I can appreciate that. Excuse me, I can appreciate that. One of the things I wanted to ask you firstly is one of the things you just said actually was your plans to change the world for the better. What are some of the things you would like to do if you had the power, if you had the infinite power of God, we'll say? What would you do to change the world, at least one thing to make it a little bit better? It's quite the
Um,
question, I know.
Honestly, to change the world, I think about this in so many ways, and it's hard to signal something down to one answer. But if I did have to choose the largest impact, it'd be I have this philosophy that my best way to improve the world is to improve myself and truly so one of my gifts, I enjoy talking to people. But one of the things that hinders that is my own bad behaviors, like my own habits, my own fearful thoughts, things
Sure.
like that. And I think that society is kind of just designed to tell you no when something inside of you keeps telling you yes. So I'm not sure how I'd change the world, but the first way I'd change the world is connecting with like-minded people like you. And this, I'm just freestyling this. I don't even know, but
No, that's
continue.
okay.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no, that's totally fine. Honestly,
Sorry.
I
Oh,
think that's a really
same.
great sentiment. I think wanting to, what is it? To know yourself is to, I forget what the quote, so I can't, maybe I'll put it up on the screen right now. Here it is. Oh, that's what it looks like. That's the quote. I think the quote is just know oneself. I think that's what it is. Basically, the most powerful thing you can do in the world is conquer who you are. If you understand things in a way of these are my failures, these are my strengths, this is how I will fail in the future, this is how I will succeed in the future, you're already halfway there to accomplishing whatever it is. And if your sentiment is I want to make the world a better place, you have a very strong way of doing that just by understanding already that you have to start with one step, which is changing or fixing or adapting your person and then going from there. So I agree with that a lot. I agree with that sentiment quite a bit. To know oneself, I think that is the quote. So my next question for you would be: are there any things within your own scope of who you are that you would like to change?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm gonna add to my other answer what
Yeah.
I'd do to change the world
Oh,
real
sure. Go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
So like even on top of that, so on one end, I guess I could start by addressing the problems of the world. One is isolation and like echo chambers of social media. Um, yeah, we need to create positive spaces where people can, and not positive in a woke. I don't know. I don't even like using all these terms because as
Yeah.
soon as you use them, people throw an identity on you onto you.
Yeah. They mean
But
something else to other people. That's true.
um, positive environments basically mean just something where people can connect, have fun, but also talk about creating something because all of the environments that we have right now they consume you. So like if you go to a bar, like yeah, you'll socialize and drink, but you just leave feeling empty, feeling worse sometimes, and definitely spending a lot of money.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
who knows what else you do once you get drunk. But like there's no positive environment places. That's one thing I do. Damn, I could ramble so much. I need to
No,
make bullet
that's
points.
okay.
Yeah,
I want you
continue.
to ramble. I want you to talk. That's what I have you on here for today. I think that is a great answer. So I could agree with that as well. I don't go to bars personally. I don't think it's a good environment. And I do think that there needs to be a more positive environment in some way where it's not somebody is taking advantage of somebody else, whether it's you're making money off of them, well, that's pretty much what it always comes down to. Capitalism exists to exploit. You don't make money because, somebody wants to give you money. You make money because it convinces you to come back and do more work for them. So it's not really, yeah, having a positive environment. That's like you'd have to go to like a library or something where they provide more than they take, right? So if you went to a bar and your intention was I'm going to provide or I'm going to take more than I provide today, and you go to a bar, well, anytime you spend money, you're going to be taking away from what you've already worked because your labor is your money. So you've already done some work, and now you have to recount on that. Say, okay, well, these 2 hours I worked yesterday were worth all the drinks that I spent, or all the money I spent on drinks. Um, and it's also bad for your body. It can be bad for your mind. It can be bad for society if you do things when you're drunk that you're not supposed to. So it's like a deterioration of your person just by engaging in these atmospheres that are not necessarily productive or providing for people. So I would almost have to say you'd have to go to like a library. You'd have to go to somewhere like, well, I can't really think of anywhere because there's not really somewhere you can go and enrich and enhance yourself and be a better person from when you left or leaving than you were when you first got there. I tried to do that with the anime convention. I wanted to have people, they come, they dress up, they have a good time, they interact with people that are like minded so that they leave with a sense of goodness and that they've accomplished something, whether it was make new friends, get themselves out in public, conquer some fears of anxiety, whatever it is. That's the opportunity I always like to give people, or to do more of what makes you happy, which is one of my core values. So with that in mind, I can definitely agree with what you're saying. Are there any atmospheres you think, or places, environments maybe, that are more providing, or I guess I don't know the exact pejorative of the word to say, providing or privative, maybe? I don't think so. But a place that provides more than it takes away. Do you know any places like that?
Yeah, no, that's the problem. The big phrase, be the change you want to see in the world. Now, there
Hmm.
are some little small places. There's some cafes around. They're cool. There's a nice boutique downtown Binghamton. Did you ever been Human First? What is it called?
I know there's one place called
Do you know
Tesserina.
that little boutique shop? No, there's a little boutique shop. They sell clothes. It's like by that Metro Mall thing.
Um,
Stellar Human.
is
That's
that?
the name of it.
Oh, okay. I've been to a couple of the boutiques. I try to invite them actually to be sponsors for the anime convention, so I'm sure I've been to them before. But the exact one, I can't say I know at the top of my head. By the Metro Center, is it by do you know what street it's on?
Or like on Main Street, but you know that little mall like thing right there by Pizza Shop.
Yeah, that's the Metro Center. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Think that
Yeah,
was a
it's
good
in
place?
there. Well, it's okay. Besides, basically, I guess I'm saying that this place needs to be created. So really, it can exist anywhere. And I think the biggest thing is, I don't know. I guess I'll just identify this as Gen Z. We're all not we're, but a large part of us is like we're digital first as a world. Actually, it's bigger
Hmm.
than Gen Z. Like everything is digital. So I'm trying to figure out a way where maybe there can be some type of digital first community that meets up in person because it's so hard getting people to come out of their house. And we
Yeah.
have to find ways to work with technology and kind of ease people out of their high anxiety, not wanting to go outside and meet people state. So trying to find how to host an event and make a digital first community. And yeah, no, that place doesn't exist, John. We got to create it.
Well, I agree, and I agree because I've tried. So with the anime convention, actually, I have a Discord server that has over 150 people in it, and that's very much a digital first environment where a lot of people are going to interact for the first times just by going into this Discord server. We have very, very diligently and tried very hard to get a lot of those people to come and show in person. Some of them have, some of them have not, and it's always been a good time for them. I'd say a lot of people, they had a better time if rather if they had just stayed home. Um, if you would ever at any point want to work with us, or you'd like to partner in any way, I'd always like to offer that to you, because you do seem like somebody who would put the metaphoric belt to ass when it comes to, doing anything. Basically, it seems like you work hard, and I like the person that you are, so I could trust you. But if you'd ever like to help in that regard, I would like to offer that to you. We have a board of directors. We have a couple people. It's really like a 4-person team at this point. At one point, it was like 8 people. So you know how that goes. But that is something we've tried to do, is work with online communities to get people to come together. And it is easier for people if they go to like an anime night like we used to do, because you get to dress up and you're not really your full genuine self and completion. So it's easier for you to say, or not to say, more to be in an environment that's welcoming if you're not necessarily 100% yourself. Like we had this one person that would always dress up like Cloud from Final Fantasy. Shout out to Alan. And they wore the same costume every week, and they were like, I just love, this makes me feel like myself. This makes me feel good. I was like, hey, do it up. Yeah, of course. And you could wear that every time. I got no problem with that. And so they did. And they had an incredible time every time they came. They felt more like themselves, and they got to meet like-minded people. What do you think of that, Jahmad?
That is awesome. I gotta congrats you. You
Oh, thank
put the
you.
metaphorical, the real belt to ass here, honestly. Cause like, nah, seriously, I think this is a good balance, and I would like to do something with you because I have the vision, the ideas, the energy.
Yeah.
It's just really hard finding and maintaining that structure. And I've noticed with you, from the outside at least, you have some type of structure because you're always doing stuff.
Thank you. I started my first business at 19, and then COVID happened, and I got jumped while I was selling ice cream, and I've been burned by business partners. Some business partners have passed away, unfortunately. So I've been through a lot in my short amount of time, and I do appreciate hearing that from you, man. I do, because I try, and even now I don't feel like I have all the structure that I need. I think things are getting better. Today was my first day with my new job. Now I have 2 jobs, so that feels pretty good. And then I'll have enough money to kind of afford to spend it on the stuff that I want to do to provide more structure for my aspirations. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate the recognition. And if you have the energy for it, if you have the will for it, that the resolve to really get things done, 100%, I'd love to have somebody like you on our team, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm taking a little time to think. I'm gonna figure things out, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll figure that out. Dang. So where do we go here, John? Steer the ship.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
sure.
actually, no. I'm gonna steer the ship. Wait a second.
You got some questions for me?
Wait, did you have something else to say? Because I'm about to steer the ship.
No, go for it. Go ahead, take hold. Let's see what you got.
All right. Dang. John, you ever notice any weird things in life? Because you popping up again is really weird for me, especially right now. It seems like life tries to speak to me through events and oddities and things that happen to me, like
You think so?
so coincidentally. Like
You were working.
I can think of someone and you pop up. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were working. You're working for the Binghamton. What is it? No, it's just the Binghamton Township, or what is it? Or the city of
Just the
Binghamton?
water department.
Oh, the water. Okay. So I go on walks just about every day, and I walk around my neighborhood. And Jahmad happened to be working that day, and he was working. They were working on a pipe or something, manhole cover, whatever it was, on the route that I walk. And one day, I was walking past the dump truck that he was in, and he was like, "Hey, yo, hey, I know you, man." So he jumped out, I gave him a hug and the whole nine. And it just so happened to be that I was doing my walk at the time that you guys were up there working, and that you had had that job there, and I decided to go on the walks. I started doing that, I think, a couple of weeks ago again. So, there was a good chance that, like, I went on my walk 2 days ago, or not, I guess yesterday as well, a couple of days as well. And you weren't up there anymore because it was all fixed. So there was a great chance that I just missed out. And then we wouldn't be doing this because I wanted to have seen you again. So I can agree with that. I do think that sometimes life kind of lines up correctly. Sometimes it doesn't. I'll tell you what. Sometimes it feels like it really doesn't. But there's also times where things just line up right.
Yeah, they do line up.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts are sometimes you don't know what's next. Sometimes you just gotta dive in and do it because, like, all the feelings inside of you are like, stop, panic.
Yeah.
Like, hold up. Make sure you don't step on a IED and blow up. But there are no IEDs. I'm not gonna blow up. So sometimes you just gotta open the faucet and let it flow.
Yeah, I guess that's. I mean, there are IEDs. That's not 100% accurate. Physically and metaphorically, there are some times where
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
like I've been in some relationships with people, or I've like business relationships or actual relationships where it seemed like the only thing I got from it was the learning or the lesson learned from a failure. So it's like, well, I know to do that thing a little differently in the future if I ever decide to do something like that again. Um, but it's not like it worked out any other way for me to say I have any remnants of that. I just learned something from the failure that it was. So maybe that was worth it. But that's just trying to find the good in the speck of good in the heap of bad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Are you dating right now?
I
You
am
you
not.
got a lady?
As you probably remember, I was in a engagement. Oh, I say engagement. Oh, I never asked her
Oh
to. I never asked.
shit.
Never asked her to marry me.
Okay.
Never asked her to marry me. But I got her a ring one day. I don't even remember what I got her the ring for. It wasn't her birthday. It wasn't anything. I don't remember even. I just got her a ring, I guess. And she went to work, and somebody was like, "Is that an engagement ring?" And she goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." And we actually didn't have plans to marry at all. Like, I'm not gonna get married in my life. I don't really like the idea of marriage, and she didn't either. So we were like, "Hey, okay, we'll just be engaged forever, I guess. Whatever." And we lived together and whatnot. But I broke up with her, and that was over 2 years ago. And I have not been with a woman in over 2 years since that. And sometimes it feels really good. Sometimes it doesn't feel so good. But no, I am not dating anybody. What about you, man?
Nah, nah, I've been chilling because I don't know. I was dating my ex for a while. That was like the long-term relationship, then had a couple flings, and now I'm just kind of at a point where, like, if I die, I have so much more to do besides chase relationships.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's so tricky because, like, really, I don't know. Like, my ex technically cheated on me,
Yeah.
but I can't say that, like, I wasn't treating myself any better or my behavior. I'm not like some saint because I didn't cheat. Like, I was still fucked up too. So,
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's a good point. I mean, it's
well,
not.
not fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not
I
like it's
did fuck,
hard to
but
not cheat, right? I mean, it can be if you're like susceptible to temptation. But on average, I would say most people, it's a very easy thing to not cheat or to not lust after people that are not in your relationship. Um, I kind of feel bad for you because what you had said before we started recording was kind of what happened. I don't want to expose that on here if you're not comfortable with it. But
oh
that's
no, go ahead. She left me. I came home, y'all, and I was like, she left me a letter and the keys. I came home. Oh, well, let me give you the full frame.
yeah,
So
no, yeah, go
I
ahead.
biked home from the Y, and then I'm singing my music, chilling and stuff. I texted her a few hours before. I get home. Something's a little different, a little empty energy in the air. I
Yeah.
go walk in my room, there's some keys and a letter, and she left me for the guy at school she told me not to worry about, y'all. I
Oh
was so
God.
distraught, heartbroken,
I,
blocked. She left me.
she blocked you
So
after
yeah,
that
that's what
is
happened.
that is ice fucking
Yeah,
cold,
yeah.
dude. That is
But listen,
so
y'all, the
cold.
biggest moral. She's been begging to come back with me, y'all. She texted me a couple days ago and called me from a different number, but you can't go back through that door. I learned my lessons. I enjoyed my time, but if you accept the past again, expecting different results, you will not get something new. And you signify to the universe, I am not worth. and I have fear of not attaining the thing you want. Don't go back. Don't
Yeah.
settle.
Well, that's good that you know that. I was in a pretty abusive relationship a long time ago, many like 7, 8 years now, and we broke up like twice, got back together. I mean, probably more than that. You know how toxic relationships go when you're in high school, and it's just never a good idea. If there's reason to break up the first time, there's reason not to get back together. And if it's motivated from like personal desires, and by that I just mean sex, if you're just like, hey, I'm all about that body, then you're going to have a hard time really succeeding in finding somebody not to replace them, but in the future, you're always going to compare them in certain ways. The best thing to do is to keep in mind, like I said, that obviously if there's a reason, then you should maintain that reason. But also, you can forgive. People say forgive and forget. I don't like that shit. I don't like that one bit. I can say you can forgive, or maybe you don't even have to fully forgive. You could just not let it bother you anymore. But do not forget, because forgetting is as good as letting them coming back in and ruining things for the second time or third or fifth or whatever it is. So allow the past to change you. Don't be afraid of that. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. Losing somebody the first time or however many times is never easy on that occasion. But there will come a time where you have enough self-reflection and a positive resolve within yourself to say that the past will change me, but I will not, re-examine that situation with regret. You have to be steadfast in your ways enough to know that, like I said, if there was reason the first time to not be with them, that reason will most likely persist. That's a little bit of relationship advice with John and Jahmad. But that's, but I want to hear more about what you have to say about that, Jahmad, because you have experienced this, it seems like, more recently. And especially with her texting you again. That's crazy.
No, I think almost same exact time. You said 2 years ago. I broke up with her like 2 years ago and some
Yeah.
change. But I think relationships are a mirror into yourself. So like, I absolutely have no hate for her at all. Like, I truly do wish her the best. The
Huh?
reason why I can't talk to her is because she kept hurting herself after she left me, like just through the people she dated, and I can't watch that even as a friend. So like,
Yeah.
I definitely wish you the best. But if anything, I'm more thankful than anything because I think all these events are meant to teach you what's worth something in life. And even when I was with my ex, I kind of I had this desire for more, like this burning fire to create and this vision. But I don't know. I think that was actually like a hindrance after a while. Like at first, the relationship was growth as a person, but once I reached a certain level, it was kind of like decay, and then
Yeah.
the further you get, you just get more decay from it.
I have
So
a, I
that's
have
my thoughts.
a quote from my book, which is you begin to regress or immediately so, which is basically things little by little can eat away at you, or everything all at once. But either way, as long as you are alive, you will suffer in some way. So you kind of have to be at peace with suffering and understanding when and when not to suffer, because we're always going to suffer in some capacity. But it's about what's worth suffering for. And if something is making you little by little, it's eating away at you and it's dragging you down, you should probably cut your losses. Or, maybe a sudden tragedy happens and, you don't have as much time to kind of understand what you're losing. And then all of a sudden, boom, happens. That's just how life goes. You know, that's something that you have to kind of take and say, is this going to change me, or am I going to be changed? Or no, is this going to change me, or am I going to allow change but not succumb to change? You kind of have to guide it. Like if you just said, I'm going to be like, a narcissistic person because obviously it was her, it wasn't me, and I'm going to completely change my worldview, and then I'm going to just like hurt people, and I'm going to treat every girl as if, I was still in the relationship with her, take my anger out in some way, whether it's like doing them wrong or placing that harm onto other people. You're just perpetuating the same problem if you chose to do that. But instead, something happens to you and you say, I'm not going to allow this to ruin me, but I will take the change and move on from here. And that's the most powerful thing you can do, is take hold of the change and guide it versus just succumb. and continue suffering. That's my advice to you. I'm sure you have a pretty good understanding about it because, like you said, it's been some time already. Um, but let me ask you a question if you don't have a question for me yet. How's that sound?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's keep flowing.
Sure, sure. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about some things in the world that you think are. I want to have a conversation more about like modern day sense. What do you think a lot of people struggle with today that you are probably accomplished with? Like you don't struggle the same way other people struggle with.
I'd probably say, I don't know. I guess.
Like
Wait,
something you're
one more
good
time.
at.
Say that one more time.
Basically, what's
Something that I don't struggle. Something I'm good at.
yeah,
I
basically
guess
something you're good at.
that people
Something other
struggle
people
with.
struggle with that you don't really struggle with. It could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be
I guess
anything.
just say like psychology and like my self awareness
There
and
you go.
awareness of self. But at the same time, that in itself is a trap because the further up the ladder you go to self awareness, the more responsibility is on you for all of your actions because you're aware of what happens when you do them and why and
That's a
stuff like that.
that's a very good point actually. I the more self-aware you become, the more accountable you become as well. And that could be every little thing that you do. Say you're in public and you're not very self-aware, and let's say you're listening to music loud and you don't see that it's bothering other people, or where you're standing is kind of in the way, you don't see how you're kind of like a hindrance. Say you're on the subway or something, or anything. It could be your shoes smell and you've been wearing smelly shoes and you don't care because you don't think people notice, or you got your shirt on backwards, and it's just like small things. But then the more you become self-aware, the more you realize every little thing within your control is within your control. So you kind of feel responsible, but you also feel bad almost in a way. So it is, I can see what you're saying with the more, well, basically what you said, the more self-aware you become, the more accountability becomes a bit of a burden, and there is a upper echelon of self-awareness that almost you don't want to. You could either be a little ignorant and enjoy that blissful ignorance and not having to be like, oh, hey, everybody struggles with things, so maybe I'm getting a pass today for my smelly shoes or whatever, or that my music's too loud or whatever. But then on another level, you would be anxious about that. And even if people don't notice these things, maybe they didn't notice your shirt was on backwards, they didn't really care that you were standing in the way of like traffic or whatever, that would still bother you because of how self-aware you are. That's kind of what I'm getting from what you said.
Yeah, that and so many things like I guess that just goes on the broader scope of psychology also. I think I have a pretty good understanding of people and
Mm,
connection, and I guess one of my best abilities is my ability to communicate and talk to people and connect with all types of people.
nice. What is something that
Um,
you hope to achieve in the future with what you have, what you're grounded in today? Like, what are some of your goals?
uh, I guess my biggest goals are I try to put things through a lens that if I were to like just reach the end of the rope, like I lose my life today, what will I have wanted to do?
Yeah.
And I guess those things are probably publish some type of book of the things I've learned, connect individuals and an idea. I want to leave a lasting idea or impact with the gifts I perceive that I have, and just do my part. That's all I can do. That's all I want to do.
It's
So
very,
probably write a book. I want to
yeah.
drop an album so much. Yeah, go ahead.
Do it. No, do it. What's stopping you?
That's a great question. So what's stopping me? My crippling dopamine addiction. Oh my
Oh, really?
gosh. I love taking up dopamine in any way possible. So whether that's
Any way possible,
it usually
really.
starts with not, all right, so let me
Yeah, let's get some
rephrase
clarification
that.
on that. Let's hear.
Let's get some clarification.
Yeah.
Um Uber Eats, oof, they've gotten a big tab out of me, boy. Uber Eats, the convenience of having food delivered to my door.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Social media in itself. Oh my gosh, I can scroll TikTok for hours. For hours, and it's like just brainwashing. I just get a bunch of ideas thrown at my mind. In the span of 5 minutes, I've taken in 1,000 ideas, and it's just no good. And
Yeah.
lust. The
Uh, uh,
forbidden fruit of the
uh,
world. You know, it's
Booty.
a good thing, but
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. It's horrible sometimes.
That
So
that's
yeah,
that's good that you could
being
acknowledge
distracted.
those things. I mean, a lot of people are kind of, I would say a lot more people than maybe even are willing to admit are probably helpless to their desire. And that's okay in some respects if it's healthy. But if you're like, I don't have any money because I keep buying everything on Uber Eats, or I'm in crippling debt because I'm putting Uber Eats on my credit card, or can you like finance a pizza from Domino's or something like that now? Like crazy stuff. Or if you were like,
Yeah.
yes. What, have you done that yet or no?
So guys, let's get real serious here.
Oh,
I'm kind of dumping on Don. Oh, let me rephrase that. I'm dumping on John right now because this is our first time talking in years.
that's
So
true.
I'm spilling it all on the table.
That's okay though. That's okay.
Guys, listen. Money's fake and I'm going bankrupt. Yes, I spent so much money on Uber Eats, y'all. I
Yeah.
will be the martyr. I'll go down for it.
You're gonna
It's
take
really
everybody's debt
bad.
and then die.
I'm gonna be the debt. I saw this TikTok.
Yeah.
This one was funny. This guy, he was like, I'm gonna be the debt Jesus. He said, give me all y'all debt. I'll take it. I will be the first trillionaire. It was really stupid. But
Yeah.
besides that, what was I saying? Yes, I spent so much money after breaking up with my ex. I went on this bad retail therapy trip, and between buying food and experiences and everything else, yes, I fell victim to credit card debt. But
Yeah.
the good news is money's fake,
It's true.
and two, bankruptcy is temporary, and three, as long as you're alive, you always have the opportunity to do something.
That
All
that's
this knowledge I've gained will not be wasted.
that's true. I
And my president went bankrupt twice. Go ahead.
yeah. I have so my mother is one of the people who retail therapy, I think I heard you say. Yeah, that's definitely what she's about. She does online shopping like crazy. Oh my gosh, like crazy.
Yeah.
There's always things that are every dude, I'm being serious. Every day Amazon or something is dropping off packages here. And it's like multiple packages a day, man. It's not even like one. That is, but she can afford it because she's a nurse practitioner. She has her own private practice. So, she can say, oh, it's just for the business or whatever. Oh, you bought new clothes for the business. You bought a teddy bear for my niece for the business. Okay. We always justify things to ourselves and others to make us feel less, terrible about our obsessions or addictions or our vices. But yeah, I do agree with you. Money's temporary. That is not a big deal really, unless you're like hundreds of thousands. If you're like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, then you just gotta like move countries. Honestly, like there's nothing you can do. If you're working like,
Yes.
sorry if you have like 200,000 in debt. If it's not like student
No, no,
debt,
no, no, not even
that's
close.
good. That's good. Like I have debt. I have we don't need to get into this really. I have debt as well, but it's nothing crazy. Um, like I could pay it off in a couple months. I just don't really care about it. So I think that's what everybody like. I don't have student loans or anything, and my debt is like less than 10,000. I'll say that much. It's less than 10,000. So I could pay it off
That
within
ain't
probably
nothing,
like,
bro.
yeah, I could pay
That
everything off.
ain't.
Well, we're gonna talk about debt now. This is terrible. You know,
That
I,
ain't bad at all, girl. I got multiple tens of thousands of dollars, but that's okay because once you start to pay attention to money, money is the exchange of value. So the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out is how can I take the value I have now and exchange it in a way? And at first, it may not come with money, but I'm just trying to build a community first,
yeah.
I guess. I'm not worried about money. Forget money. Guys, people are more important than money, and I think that's the biggest issue in the world right now.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. People are a lot more important than money. You can't buy a new person. You can buy somebody like them, maybe, but we were always taught growing up, probably in school and from whatever else, if there was ever a fire, you get yourself out first because you can buy new clothes, you can buy a new bed, you can buy a new computer, whatever. You can buy new stuff. You can't buy a new you. And that's very true. I agree with that. We never hope that things like that happen, but if we ever had to make the distinctions, that we're hoping that we're not fleeing our rooftop bedroom access with a bunch of stuff in our hands, when in reality we should just be, saving ourselves. So you want to build the community, I heard you say. What kind of community are you hoping to build?
The thing with community, I'm so deep. It's so annoying being deep sometimes because you can't just explain the surface level. But regardless, community,
Ah,
it's so hard because, like, I think that the community, I don't want it. How do you find the mix of, like, not boring, not like cliche kids bop? Because, like, people are real raw and raunchy sometimes. We're not always these perfect, like, self improvement people. Like, that's
yeah,
understood. Like, one side of me is like super self improvement monk, and the other side's like, I'm a little wild, but that's okay because
yeah.
that's what humans are. Oh, I don't know. Finding people like us and getting them together somehow,
It's
some way.
it's very difficult because a lot of the people that I have interacted with, majority of the people I've interacted with in my life, were not up to the same standards that I hold myself, and so I'm not going to. It sounds bad to say. It sounds super like I'm so much better than everybody to say that they weren't up to my standards, so I didn't want to lower myself to theirs. And but that's on.
In what way? What examples?
Okay, so my old friend group, right? I'm not friends with them anymore. I don't mean to say their person. I mean to say that some things about their persons or some things about their lives. I'm not going to say somebody has less money than me, then they're like a loser, or if they don't, have the same ambitions that I am, then they're nobody. But when I have ambitions and they're not matched in certain ways, I can't really mess with those people anymore. I used to have a guitar making company, and one of my friends, we were very close. We were very close. We were best friends, man, and we just weren't quite aligned on what we wanted in life. He was more of the I just want to make enough money to where I can do my own thing and not have to worry about things, and then that's it. Me, obviously, as I've already told you and people on my podcast are quite aware of, as I would like to be the United States president at some time. I'm trying to build a platform for that and get to the point where that's achievable goal or an achievable goal. But for a lot of people, they don't want to be the United States president, and I don't expect them to need to be the United States president for me. But I need to be surrounded by people that at least have similar ambitions or the greater scope of their life, that we can align and say that, yes, me doing things in your vicinity or being surrounded by people like you is going to be beneficial or mutually beneficial because you kind of think of the same way that I do or think the same way that I do. Somebody like you, Jahmad, you're very intellectual. You have a good scope of what you'd liked in life. You have compounding interests. It's not just one thing. It's this is going to help me do this, which is going to help me do this, which is going to help me, and so on. And that's something that not a lot of people, or maybe it's hard to say because you don't really know like how many people. You could just say most people. We'll just say most people. They want few things that are achievable, and once they achieve them, that's it. My last ex-girlfriend, which I don't think anybody on here really knows, so no detriment to her, but she was very much set with I'm going to get a job, which she did, and I'm going to work that job and make enough money to where I don't have to worry about things. I'm sure she did. And I'm going to go to bed at 7:30 every day. And that's it. Come home from work, do my thing for a little bit, party, not party on the weekends, have fun with her friends on the weekends, and then that's it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And it's not like a
Yeah,
detriment to me. It's not a detriment to her. That's what she wanted in life, and she has that. She was living like a grandmother at like 24 years old, and it's like I don't want to do that. I don't, you and I don't have that similar prospect in life to just do like go to work, come home, spend some time with my significant other for like 3 hours, go to bed by 7:30, wake up the next day at 4 o'clock because I want to like get coffee and stuff. Like that's just not who I was. And then work from like 9 to 5, get home and rinse and repeat. Like, that was just not what I wanted to do. So the fact that she was already kind of living that life, I couldn't align myself with somebody like that and then still expect to achieve my very ambitious goals in life. What do you think of that, Jahmad?
No, absolutely. That is facts. You
Yeah.
birds of a feather flock together, so you
Yeah.
gotta find people that align with you in some type of way. And I guess for me, the unifying factor is I just want to find people who create or have a vision more, but also I think that that idea will become more tame the more experienced I am with actually building communities, because I talk about it, but I haven't done it as much as you. So like, I guess I would ask you,
Yeah.
what are the hardest issues trying to build a community or club
It's
in today's society?
it's getting people to participate. It's because people can say that they want something, and if you provide for them and say, here it is, they can go, well, maybe I don't want it right now. I just want it sometime in the future. And that's like the hardest thing to do, is to convince people that they can get what they want and be satisfied. Convincing people that, like, hey, that thing you wanted, it's right here, come and get it. Some people will be like, oh my gosh, finally. And some people will be like, well, it's good to know it exists, but I don't need to necessarily have it right now. And that's, a lot of people convince themselves that they want stuff. So getting people to participate is very difficult. Like I said, we have 150 people in our Discord server. I think I've only ever met a good 40 of those people. So less than a third of the people in our Discord. So with that in mind, I would say the most difficult thing, besides getting people to come in and collaborate, is providing exactly what they want, because everybody's idea of how things should be are very conflicting. And even somebody who, if you worked it out with them, like you talk through it and you say, okay, what do you want? How can I help you get it? You might get to a certain point where you're like, this is what you said you wanted, and this is also what you said you wanted, but they can't exist at the same time. And somebody might go, oh, you're right, because they never thought about it so far, and in actuality, that it could actually become a reality, that they just have a bunch of clustered ideas of desire, and that's not really a way to formulate something as far as a community goes. Like, for instance, we had some people that like to cosplay, they like doing D&D, and I was like, yeah, let's do D&D, we can do it. We were actually going to do like a big campaign, and they're like, well, I like doing the character sheets, and I was like, that's cool, yeah, you could do the character sheets. Do you ever, you know how to like play the game? And they're like, no, I don't actually know how to play the game. It's like, I don't either, and maybe this is my fault as well, but I don't know how to play the game, so I can only provide as much as you can also provide, because I don't know as much as you, but I also don't even know where to begin, or not where to begin, but I don't know the how to play the game, so I can't allow for you to then enjoy this part that you like when I don't even have as much as you do, right? So like, I think she was a good person. I really do like her. I think she's cool. But she wanted to help out with like the character sheets and D&D. And if she's watching this, shout out to her. I don't want to say her name because I feel like we're talking a little bit detrimentally. But I couldn't create exactly what they had in mind, because they didn't even have the entire foresight of what everything needed to be like before we could do that. They wanted to do character sheets for D&D, and they only really knew how to do that. They didn't really know how the game was played, or how to do a dungeon master, or how to set up a campaign, and I don't either. So I was like, well, I want to be able to provide that for you, but you know more than I do, and I don't even know where to start. So we kind of had to like put that on the back end, and that never really came through fruition, which I really wish it did, because it'd have been cool. But some people, they have a small piece or possibly an example of what they would like, but the entire what needs to happen before we get there is not set in place, so it's almost impossible. So it's basically, you have to achieve all the background stuff before you can actually get into what somebody was desiring in the first place. For instance, let's say somebody was like, I've always wanted a chocolate cake for my birthday. And we're like, okay, well, first, it's got to be your birthday to achieve the first thing. And two, you have to know how to make a chocolate cake. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know how to make a chocolate cake, but I love chocolate cake on my birthday. And it's like, okay, well, before we even get to it being your birthday, we need to make a chocolate cake. Like, we don't know how to make that, then, there's no way we can do this thing. So it's difficult, but, a lot of people, they have ideas, and you kind of just have to go with them. until you run into the spot where it's like, okay, this is why you haven't accomplished your idea yet because, there's this roadblock. And then that's where the real work begins. Sorry if that's a convoluted way to kind of answer your question, but that's kind of the answer. I should say it's that a lot of people,
No,
yeah,
I got that. People are so simple yet so complex. They could tell you they want this, you give them this, and they still don't like it.
yeah, it could be like that as well. Yeah, hopefully that came
Well, I
across.
think that's kind of how I got some of what you said, but
Yeah, yeah, I know. I was kind of going on for a while, but
no, I guess I'd say like, oh wait, were you gonna say
no,
something?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, people, with the community thing, I'm starting to realize, unfortunately, I might have to incorporate some psychology into this new community building because there has to be some type of model in the modern day that's going to get people together. And, like, how do I say that? Because a popular model, I've noticed that running clubs are really popular. And I'm just curious, I've never been to one, but I will say that it is interesting how they can attract those types of numbers. And earlier, you said that you've met 40 people out of that 150.
Yeah,
John, have you given yourself a pat on the back? That is amazing, bro. That's so
yeah. Well,
cool.
thank
Like,
you, thank you.
what the
I mean,
hell?
not
That's
all at
still a
once.
lot
It
of
wasn't like
people.
all at once,
Seriously.
but I've met a lot of the people.
No, that's crazy,
It
though.
felt so good. Thank you, man. I don't give myself the appreciation I deserve, perhaps, but out of all the people like I've met, like every single time I was like, "Hey, welcome to anime and game night," and they're like, "Oh yeah, thanks. I'm in the Discord." I'd be like, "Well, thank you. Well, just thank you for participating and for then seeing because we post stuff and sometimes I'm sure you feel the same way. And a lot of times I do this when I make my sock videos or when I do anything. I post and I feel like I'm calling out into the void. And when people pick it up and they're like, "Hey, John," they're like, I get recognized in public quite often sometimes. Yeah, it's quite often sometimes, redundant to say, but sometimes I get identified in public and they're like, "Hey, Socks with John." And I'm like, I don't even know who you are, and I'm so sorry, but thank you so much because like when it feels like nobody is listening and hear somebody coming out of the blue being like, "Yeah, yo, look at Socks with John. You want to get a picture?" That just feels so good because it's very validating as well. So yeah, thank you. I'm doing it right now, patting myself on the back. Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Yeah, literally. Wait, John, I have to.
Yeah,
Socks. I love socks. How'd you get started on socks?
I don't even
What
know,
the
man. I
fuck?
don't even know honestly anymore. Like here, I'm gonna show everybody on my because I'm in my room right now. Let me just grab my basket of clean socks here. Here, yeah. Here we go. So this is gonna be on the podcast now. Look at all these socks. Look at all these socks. I counted them on my TikTok live the other day. This is like half of them. This is 115 pairs of socks. All different. I don't really know how I got into it. I just a while ago, I started wearing like 10th grade. I'm talking like a long time ago, like probably almost 10 years ago. Probably 10 years ago. Um, I started wearing like long socks, and I 2 years ago, 2 years in November, I decided I was gonna post them online, do like, hey, I'm gonna review my socks, and I did, and then here I am. 2 years later, I have over 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I just show my socks every day, and people love it. It's nothing crazy. I do hope to have my own sock company at some point, but yeah, basically 2 years ago, I decided I was just gonna start posting my socks online to see who liked them, and it's been moderately successful so far. Excuse me. That's kind of how I got into that.
Yeah. Sock man, no, no, that's crazy. I'm not going. It's so random. It's awesome.
Yeah, actually, so I had orientation today at my other job or at my new job, I guess, and they said I'm pretty outspoken. I'm not afraid to talk in front of people, especially when you want to be the president. You can't have a fear of talking in front of people. But anyway, so out of a room with like 20 people, maybe they were like, "Go ahead, say your name, then say something interesting about yourself." And I was like, "My name's John. I review socks online. It's called Socks with John. I have a TikTok page where I review socks." And they're like, "Oh wow, wow! Do you get like free socks?" And I was like, "I do sometimes. I get free socks on occasion that I review for people. Yes." And they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." I was like, "Thanks." But yeah, it's pretty random. You like socks too, Jahmad?
Yeah, I do like socks. I'm on a brown sock kick right now. That's all I can afford at the moment. Going bankrupt, so I'm just brown socks. But it's better than black. And dang, this has turned into like a race war thing. I don't like white socks. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't.
I don't.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think I own a pair of white socks that don't have designs on them. Like this pair right here. Here we are talking about socks. Here's some socks. They have how to make ramen on the side of them. It shows like the step by step, and they're white. I guess these are interesting. But otherwise, yeah. You don't like white socks? Why not? I don't think not a race thing.
definitely not a race thing, but I hate white socks. I burn them honestly. No,
Damn, damn.
I'm just kidding. Nah, white socks just get dirty, and I'm a dirty person. I like getting dirty, and
Likes getting
so I
dirty.
need to wear the things that least look dirty, since I get dirty so
So
often.
the brown socks are where it's at then for you.
It already looked like dirt, so it's not going to get much dirtier.
That's fair. Yeah, I couldn't really show these white socks as much because yeah, they're stained on the bottom from the dirt. Here's the thing: I wear these socks. I don't even wear them for like a full day. In the morning I get up and I usually wear the socks to bed. So whatever socks I had from the night before, if I still have them on, I'll just wear those until I have to get dressed. I get dressed, and then after I do my sock video, I usually change. Like that's kind of like a little behind the scenes deal here. I usually wear my socks like just for the video sometimes. Well, sometimes, not every day. But
Wait, hold up.
what's
Am I
up?
about to get heartbroken? Did I get scammed?
From what?
What do you mean you take the socks off after the video?
Oh no, I mean I wear them for the day, and then I do my video, and then after I do my video, I'm like, cool, I don't have to wear them anymore, and then I like go take a shower or something.
Okay. Because I
Sometimes
got a
like
pair of bird socks.
bird socks.
Good.
I have some chicken
Yeah.
socks. Speaking of socks, today's episode and all episodes of the In One Ear Out podcast are brought to you by Boom! Socks with John. As always, I'm John, and you'll see the socks if you check out the short feeds on YouTube or go to my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or Threads as well. As always, Socks with John is a sponsor for the In One Ear Out podcast. You can always be happy to see sponsorship. And if you guys ever want to include your sponsor segment as well, this could be your opportunity as well. Jahmad, I'll offer this to you as well. Do you have anything you'd like to say for our sponsored opportunity so we could promote your efforts online?
Yes, absolutely. Sponsor coming to me from here. Damn, the words didn't work. The universe says they sponsor you, the viewer, because
Oh, yes.
you're awesome, and
Do you have a
keep
YouTube channel we
listening
could
to
plug?
positive things.
Do you have a
What?
channel that we could plug for you, a YouTube channel?
I don't got nothing to plug at the moment, but I'm connected with John.
Sure,
I'll
yeah.
be back one of these days. Once I get it, it's in progress.
He absolutely will. And if you guys ever want to reach out to Jahmad and you want to do that through me, of course, for any reason at all, whatever it is, you want to see his brown socks, or if you want to come on for an episode of Socks with John, that could be cool as well. Go ahead and leave a comment below and I will get in touch with you. Thank you very much. Socks with John or Socks with John. I got to remember to move my head because I put the, it's going to be like right here, Socks with John. So I got to make sure I'm not like covering up my face halfway with it. But yes, is there any other questions that you have for me, Jahmad?
Let's cut to the John. How are we going to become trillionaires, bro?
I don't want to be a trillionaire.
This ain't it, bro.
You want?
Okay. Oh yeah, you're trying to be president. I forgot you can't be a trillionaire.
Yeah, I can be a
Don't
trillionaire.
clip this out of context.
No, that's all right. Honestly, if you want to be a trillionaire, asteroid mining. That's where it's at.
No, I don't want to be a trillionaire. Literally, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You do all these businesses. I see you are community focused, but you are business minded.
That's true.
You know, you want to make a little bit of money.
It's true.
What you thinking?
So I got a couple things in the works right now. I got quite a few things actually that should be turned up. So I got 2 jobs now. One of them is I sell vacuum cleaners, I sell air purifiers, and that pays, it's like $25 an hour, which is like every appointment. It's a sales call, so you go to the sales call. It goes on for an hour. You get $25. It's not like I'm working like 8 hours in a day making $25 an hour. I just got a part-time job at FedEx. It'll turn into a full-time job, possibly, depending on how well I sell vacuums. If I do that a lot more, I might just choose that over the other one. And that's only like $19 an hour. My one friend hit me up, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and he said, hey, if you help me get any band or any shows in Binghamton, because he's from Ithaca, he's like, I will give you 20% of the proceeds for my shows because he's a musician. I was like, cool. So that's another revenue stream as well. And selling the socks once I have a large enough audience. Actually, I only have to do a couple things on YouTube to have a YouTube store, which is going to take a while. But a TikTok shop, I'm pretty sure I could do almost immediately. Then once I save up some money, I'll be investing in the socks and I'll start selling socks. So it'll be the vacuum cleaners, working at FedEx. It'll be some residuals from getting my buddy some shows in Binghamton. It'll be selling socks as well. And I'll have another business, which I'm working on, which is a cooperative living environment for the Binghamton homeless. It's going to be a nonprofit. I could pay myself like an employee through that as well. So that's a couple ways that I can make some money. And there's always some, the anime convention as well. I don't really expect to make money from that, but I do see that. I do foresee that this next year making me some money, possibly like $1,000. We'll see how that goes. And then we could sell apparel and whatnot, and I could take a cut from that as a senior director. We'll see how it goes. That's kind of how I got everything lined up for myself. I can see by the end of next year, I'll probably be in some money, which is good because, I'm 25. I'll be 26 at the end of this year. I definitely need a lot more money than I have now. But I'm always open to new collaborations and new ideas and more opportunities. So what do you think, man? What are some ideas that you possibly have to make some money? Make some money.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't got none.
Oh,
Nah, just kidding. Actually, not just kidding. I'm winging it here, but yeah, I just threw that question out because my ideas are finding some way to deliver value. So
yeah.
I'm going to have to get on the internet and run my mouth a little bit and then develop some type of product or offer some type of service locally and collaborating with people. But
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah. Wait, John, can I can we, is this like a,
No, go ahead. Go
not
ahead.
part of the podcast?
You can ask
How
what you
much
want.
longer we got? Oh,
Uh,
God.
we've been doing it for 56 minutes so far. We can keep going, or we can cut it off in a bit, or whatever. It's up to you, man.
If you don't mind, can we cut it off in a bit? But I'll talk to you. I want to talk to you for a second after you cut it off.
Oh, okay, sure. You don't want this to go on the podcast?
Yeah. I think I'm at the end of my rope for the podcast, but I do want to talk to you for a little bit.
That's no problem. I'll actually wrap it up right now. I'll say thank you very much, everybody, for watching, for tuning in. I do appreciate it as always. And Jahmad, thanks for sharing a little bit of your insight and advice. It's always very helpful for new perspectives on the podcast. Any lasting impression that you could leave with our audience today?
The only lasting impression I have is, yeah, life is a long journey, so don't close your awareness to the things it has to teach you because there's a lesson to be learned in everything, and it's very annoying, to be honest with you, because sometimes there are lessons that you don't want to learn.
Yeah.
And just try to find those pockets of enjoyment, whether it's staring over the bridge at the river, listening to some music, biking, running, talking to your friends on Discord, just do little bits of things you enjoy in this chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
That's a really good bit of advice. And just to add on to that, if it's a good enough mistake, you'll make it twice, or you'll make it again, I should say. That's always something I've remembered for, especially in business as well, that if it's a good enough mistake, you'll probably make that mistake again, until you finally learn. But thank you, everybody, for tuning into the In One Ear Out podcast. As always, I'm your host, John. And that's all from us today. Adios, mis muchachos, and peace out.
Adios.